I'm Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. On today's video, we're taking a look at the new Scene Ignore feature for firmware 19.05 on the Axe FX3. I also want to cover a few little FC controller improvements that have been added over the last few firmware updates as well. To get started, I have a pretty basic preset using the band commander, and I've set up 4 different scenes here. Scene 1 is going to be a little bit of compression and reverb. Scene 2 is going to have a low gain drive with some slapback delay. Scene 3 is going to be a fuzz with a big panning delay, and scene 4 is going to be a big ambient sounding reverb with pitched delays. Let's just hear the preset really quickly with my old Strat. Some absolutely glorious tones in there. I want to go through the custom FC layout that I'm using here. In FC Edit, you can see all the foot switch assignments on here. So basically the bottom row of switches, we've got the 4 scenes, we've got the tuner, and we've got tap tempo. Across the top, I have used the channel select function to select between amp channel A, B, or C. We've got a pitch block foot switch up here, and then I've got this new scene level increase or decrease. If I press this particular button, it is going to increase the level of my current scene by 1 dB. I've got it set up so that if I tap and hold it, it will actually decrease it. This would be great if you're playing a guitar solo on your lead scene and you need a little bit more level. Just press this button as many times as you need it. You can actually increment it in 1 or 2 dB increments. Very, very handy. You can also do the same with the amp level. It will also save the preset after you do this. So if you've set up a great sounding preset, you go to a gig and your guitar solo is not loud enough, you can hit these buttons and it will actually save it. So at the next gig, you are ready to rip. Alrighty, what I want to do is, looking at the FC controller, is give you an example of the way scenes have worked basically in the past up till now. So let's think of each scene as like a status for all the different effects in here. You've got this effects platter set up. And on scene number 1, it's just a compressor and a reverb. On scene number 2, it's a bit of drive and a slapback delay on there. So if I was on the second scene and I pressed amp channel B, which is going to take me to the AC20, I get this. Now, if I just change back to scene 1, it's going to also change the channel of amp A on there. And I might not necessarily want that. Let's say I'm doing a cover gig where I know I want to use the band commander for every one of these scenes on a particular song, but maybe then I play a song that's much heavier and I want to use channel C, which I've got set up as the USA lead, and I want to have the option of just a bit of compression or slapback delay or fuzz and delay, all these options in here, but basically have the amp ignore the scene changes. It's going to stay on the same channel. All I have to do is for each channel engage this scene ignore function. So we can go through here and let's do that. Now, what's really interesting is, let's say I'm on scene number 1 and I engage amp channel B. I get this. What I can do now though is when I change to channel 2, it's going to stay on that particular amp channel. The scenes weren't saved like that to start with, but because the amp is ignoring the scene changes, I'm now going to get this AC20 across all my scenes. So that's a feature that a lot of people have been asking for a long time, and it works really, really well. Another way you might want to use this is with the pitch block virtual capo. Let's say you've got a particular preset with scenes like I do here, but you want to be able to play a song, for example, in E flat. So I can set up the virtual capo to take me down a semitone. If I have scene ignore engaged over here, and then I kick in this pitch block, it means this pitch block's going to be active across all my scenes, and I've virtually down-tuned my guitar without having to really do any work. Very, very straightforward, very, very easy to use. And that's something that if I'm playing through older ragdoll songs, which were in drop C sharp instead of drop C, I would actually set this for a semitone up. And it means I can have a practice preset where I can play through our set list in any order and not have to worry about grabbing another guitar. So there's a lot of different ways you could use this with different blocks. Something like chorus or pitch detune might be another handy example, or setting up the rotary to ignore scenes, but also use something similar to the way I've set up the amp select channels on here to select between, say, a fast and a slow rotary setting, depending on what you're playing. I would love to hear from all of you though, like how can you see yourself using this scene ignore feature? Is it something you would use, or is it something that you might not need because you've just got your scenes all ready to roll? A few other things that are very, very handy on here. We've got the inverted mini displays on here. If you want to set that up from Axe Edit, just go to FC Edit, go to FC Config, and you can just toggle the mini displays on and off just like that, which I find really, really convenient having them like that. I'm super lazy and I just find it a little bit easier to read the writing with these inverted. Again, something people have been asking for a long time. I want to give you a very quick example of using this scene level idea on here. For example, let's say that scene 3 over here, which was our fuzz and panning delay scene. Let's say that it's not loud enough and you're playing along and you're like, you know what, I'm playing a guitar solo live and I don't have enough level. So this is how I would do it in real time. And if we check and go to the output block, we can go to the scene levels, and you can now see that scene 3 is set to 3 dB louder than the other scenes, and it's saved without any dropouts in there. Again, a super, super handy feature. Another cool thing might be, let's say you're playing live with your clean amp over here, and you set it up in the studio and it's all sounding good, but then as soon as you go and play the live gig, your clean sound isn't loud enough. You could use the amp level over here to level out your presets. This could be a really good way if you are someone who just likes to play in real time and you want to level out your amps without having to either reach over to the physical unit or reach to Axe Edit as well. There were a few other FC controller improvements added regarding like how you can dim switches and smart bypass and things like that. I would highly encourage you reading the release notes for those. If you have specific questions related to them, let me know and I can address them in a future video as well. So that's today's video. If you have any further questions, let me know in the comments. If you've got any requests for future Tuesday tone tips, let me know in the comments as well. I hope you all have a fantastic week and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.